Hi guys, Casper MMA here, and today we're back with another PFL predictions video on the channel. Today giving my predictions for PFL Cape Town, Eblen versus Van Steenis. Now this is the first PFL Africa cards that we have done on the channel so far. I've done a few like Europe ones and stuff like that, but never African, so I'm looking forward to giving my predictions for some of these fighters today. A lot of them I haven't heard of, but a lot of them I have, and there's some good matchups on here. I like the look of it. But before I do get into my predictions today, make sure if you guys are new around here and you're enjoying this content, you go down below and hit the subscribe button. It's free and it's really appreciated. So I've got the card up here in front of me, 14 fights, and we kick things off with a women's fight, which is Julia Ukah versus Seely Niedermayr. Now, I'm probably going to butcher a lot of names in this card, just a heads up, because there's a lot of African names that I don't know how to pronounce, but not too bad of this one. We've got a Nigerian woman in Ukah, 6-0 currently, only 26 years old as well. She looks pretty good, to be fair. She's had all wins by decision, bar her last fight, which she won by KO in round number 2. So she looks a pretty good prospect, to be fair. Some alright wins, nothing too impressive really, but she looks like a decent fighter, to be fair. Lots of decisions. Niedermayr, on the other hand, is a South African woman, 3-2 in total, 32 years old. She is coming off a win in this year. In the last fight, she beat a 3-3 opponent by decision. Before that, she lost the decision. Literally all of her fights have gone to decision, apart from her first fight, which she won by rear naked choke in round number 2. So I can see this going the full distance. I don't know if you can bet on that anywhere, but it's going to be a decision, this fight. I can see it happening, and I reckon I'm going to back the Nigerian woman in Ukah to get this job done, and I reckon she gets the decision. And now we move the card to Abraham Babley versus Paul Emmanuel Gnaze. Now, Babley is Englishman, 5-2. I think he also might be from like Ivory Coast, representing there. I think I saw that on the PFL website, something. That's why he's on the African card. But he's not a bad fighter, 5-2 in total record. He was 5-0 at one point, and then he lost his last 2 fights in a row in PFL, but both of them fights have been a split decision. Just lost a split decision to Nascimento in his last fight, who was previously in the UFC. So not the worst loss ever, to be fair. Put a decent performance, but he's not bad. He's had a couple KOs in his career, 3 in total, and the rest of his fights go into decision. So he is a good fighter. Gnaze, on the other hand, is 8-5. Frenchman. This guy might be from the Ivory Coast. I'm not too sure. Damn on topology doesn't really. This kind of puts a flag up, and I just have to guess. But this guy, he's also not the worst fighter. He's 8-5, which isn't as impressive record, to be fair. But he's got quite a few decent wins, to be fair, in his career. Did lose his last fight in a Hexagon MMA by KO in round number 1, but did have a split decision win before that. Went to decision, and he's got a few knockouts on his record. I mean, he's had 5 wins by knockout, 1 win by submission. So I can see this fight getting a finish here. And I think it's going to come by the way of the Englishman in Babley to get this job done. I mean, I just feel like he's the better fighter overall. I mean, he's shown it. He's not shown it recently because he's been 2 split decisions, but I reckon he's going to bounce back and he's going to get the KO. And now we move at the card to Simbarache Hokonya versus Franz Mlambo. Now, Hokonya is a 5-0 undefeated man from Zimbabwe. So not a bad record, to be fair. 4 wins come by decision, 1 win by round 1 KO. He's fought a couple of decent opponents recently, but the rest of the opponents have had like either 0-0 records or losing records. But still, he's done well to stay undefeated up till now. He doesn't look the worst fighter. Franz Mlambo, on the other hand, is a South African man, 15-6 in total, 34 years old. Is coming off a loss in the PFL. That was by KO to some Russian guy. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name. But before that, he was on a pretty good run. I mean, he only had 1 loss in like 10, 11 fights or something. I'm not going to count them up, but he had so many wins. He goes to get a lot of wins by decision in his time. Did alright in Bellator when he was there, and then was doing alright in PFL up until his last loss. So I think he looks a pretty decent fighter. I mean, he's got most of his wins come by decision. I think I said that, but then he's got 4 wins by KO, 4 wins by submission as well. So I do think that Mlambo is a pretty well-rounded fighter, and I reckon he's going to take the undefeated record from Hokonya, and Mlambo wins by decision. And now we move the card to Abdullah Kane versus Joffrey Houlton. Now, Kane is a 3-0 undefeated man from Senegal. I was about to say Cameroon, but I always get the flags mixed up in Africa. They always look the same. But he's 26 years old. Looks pretty good. All of his wins have come by finish. First 2 came by KO in round number 1. Then he just won his last fight by rear naked choke in round number 2. So he looks pretty good. Not the worst wins either. He's got some decent opponents he's fought, to be fair. His opponent, Joffrey Houlton, is a 7-4 Englishman. He looks alright. He's not the best record, of course. I mean, he has been finished quite a lot. All of his losses have either come by KO or submission. But he's on a 2-fight winning streak at the minute. He's just won his last fight in Aries FC by KO in round number 1. So I can see this fight definitely going to a finish. I mean, both these guys have never seen a decision so far in their careers. So nothing's going to change here just yet. But deciding who is going to get the finish, I'm going to go with Kane. I mean, Kane's not lost yet. Houlton has been knocked out a few times before, so I'm going to back Kane to get the KO. And now we move the card to Ashiashu Tshitamba versus Karim Henniene. Now, Tshitamba is a 6-4 South African man, 33 years old, currently on a 2-fight winning streak. One win by submission, 1 win by split decision in his last fight. Did go on a 3-fight losing streak, but they're all losses by decision. He's got quite a few finishes, to be fair, a few KOs on his record. So overall, he doesn't look like a bad fighter, to be fair. He's just lost a few decisions in his time. His opponent, Karim Henniene, is a Canadian man, 4-0, undefeated, only 30 years old as well. He looks decent. I mean, all 4 of his wins have come by decision. Only 1 split decision in there as well. Not bad opponents either, all with like decent records. In fairness to them, not the best, but yeah, honestly, this fight could be close here. But I'm backing the undefeated Canadian man to get the job done. I mean, he's won quite a lot of decisions. He's not been a bad fighter, so I'm going to reckon Henniene gets the decision. Now we move the card to a Jashel Teacher Awa versus Justin Clarke. Now, I don't know how to say Awa for this man, but I looked up his name on Google Translate. It translates to Jashel Works Here, which I thought was quite funny, and I thought I'd share that with you. But Awa is a Cameroonian man, 3-1 in total. He's not the worst fighter. I mean, he's only got 1 loss in MMA, which was back in 2022. He lost the decision, but around that, he did get killed in a boxing fight, but we don't really talk about that. We're just to hear about MMA. He bounced back from that loss with 2 wins in a row. Just got a win by KO by leg kicks in round number 1. In his last fight against 12-10 opponents, but all of his other opponents have been 0-0, so not really been tested against that great of opponents. But his opponent, Justin Clarke, 2-0 professionally, South African man, does look pretty good. I mean, he got 1 win, both of his wins have come by round 1 KOs, and he looks a decent fighter. I mean, not much to go off there. He's finished both his fights pretty quickly. He also he's been training with like DDP as well for a bit, so you know, he's got some good people there in South Africa, and I reckon Clarke wins this one, you know. I mean, honestly, it could go either way. It's a heavyweight match. Both of these guys can knock each other out, but I'm going to back Clarke to get this job done, and I reckon he gets the KO. And now we move the card to Shannon van Tonder versus Boule Godogo. And also, I put the other guy's name in Google Translate in the last fight. Apparently, Boule Godogo translates to a ball in English for some reason, so that's also very interesting. I thought I'd share that with you. But Van Tonder, he is a 7-2 South African man, 30 years old. He's quite impressive, to be fair. He's got 5 wins coming by submission, 1 win by KO, 1 win by decision. So he's pretty good on the ground. He gets a lot of submissions, quite a few guillotines, a few rear naked chokes as well. Pretty much makes up all his wins by submission. Has been KO'd last year, but that was a body KO or something. Then he lost a decision. There's 2 losses, but he's not a bad fighter. I mean, he's obviously got quite a few wins. On the other hand, we have Godogo. I don't know how you say his name, to be honest. Godogo. 3-0 from Republic of Congo. It looks good. I mean, he's had 2 wins by KO, 1 win by decision. In his last fight, hasn't really fought anyone good. Like 2 opponents with 0-0 records. His last opponent had a 2-4 record, but he is getting the job done, I suppose. So it could be worse. But I have to pick one of them to get this job done, and I reckon I'm going to pick Van Tonder here. I mean, I think he's just had more experience, more fights professionally, and I think he looks pretty good. So I'm going to back Van Tonder to get the submission. And now, moving up to another heavyweight fight, Maxwell Jantu Nana versus Michael Groguhe. Now, Nana, he's good. I've watched him before. He's a 6-1 Cameroonian man, 34 years old. Basically the second coming of Ngannou, this guy is. I mean, he's really good. All of his wins so far have come by KO, 6 wins in total. I mean, what can you say? I mean, he's only lost one fight, and that was to Mario Pinto by submission, and we know how good Mario Pinto is because he's in the UFC. Just like knocked out Austin Lane or something like that, I can't remember. But yeah, that's not a bad loss to have because all of his other fights he's finished in either round number 1 or round number 2. So he's pretty good. On the other hand, we have Groguhe, who was made famous for that terrible loss where he got a head kicked in like 10 seconds in the PFL when he just off the side just slowly walked out as if he was uninterested in fighting. You've probably all seen the fight where he just like he acts like nonchalant as if he doesn't want to be there, then just gets head kick KO'd. It's really funny, but he does that for all his fights, to be fair, and it's worked a lot because he's got a lot of round 1 KOs. I mean, he's only had one fight go to decision. That was his last one. He won that by that one there. So he's all right, to be fair. He's obviously got a lot of finishes, but he's not really beat anyone that great, really. So I'm going to back Nana to get the job done by KO. And now we move the card to Nkosi Ndebele versus Mahmoud Atef. Now, Ndebele is a 8-3 South African man. He's pretty decent. He's in some other promotions, Brave FC. I mean, he's got had quite a few wins in there. That's all of his wins, to be fair. I didn't realise that's all his career's been in Brave FC. But he did have like a title or something there. He lost a split decision to this guy called Jose Torres then, who was actually a pretty good fighter, but then came back and then knocked him out in the next fight, and then after that beat him again by decision. So he lost once to this guy, but then beat him again twice, and then in his last fight did lose a decision to an 8-1 man. But I think this guy is still pretty good. He's got 5 wins by KO, 3 wins by decision, and I think he looks a decent fighter, to be fair, pretty well rounded. Atef, on the other hand, is an Egyptian man, 5-2 in total, 31 years old. He is on a 2-fight winning streak, to be fair. 2 fights by round 1 KO, so not too bad there. Has been finished both times he's lost. Lost once by submission in round number 1, then got KOs in round number 2 once as well. But most of his fights do go to finish. He's only had 1 win by decision, so it could go to a finish here. But I do reckon that Ndebele is just like a better fighter here, and I reckon he's going to take it to decision and get the win. And now we move up to the main card now. Corey Anderson versus Denis Goltsov. Now, this one took a bit of time to figure out who's going to win this one, I'm not going to lie. But we start with Corey Anderson, an American man, 18-6 in total, 35 years old. Is on a pretty decent run at the minute. He beat Phil Davis by split decision, then beat Calmo by decision. So not a bad run of fighters to have there. Did lose to Nemkov before that by decision, but he's not lost before that since he was in the UFC when he lost to Jan Blachowicz by KO. But overall, he's a decent fighter, to be fair. On the other hand, Denis Goltsov, the Russian man, 36-8 in total, also 35 years old, and he's on a really good run as well. He's got 4 wins in a row. Hasn't lost since 2023 when he lost to Reynan Ferreira, but just got a win over Popov in his last fight, which I'm pretty sure I was predicting Popov to win that one just because he was like such a 19-1 record. He's only had 1 loss, but Goltsov got the win by submission in round number 1, and he's just got so many finishes on his recently. I mean, he's just been KOing everyone. Got his submission in his last fight. Goltsov just a dangerous guy at the minute. But honestly, I could see this fight going either way. If I'm being honest, both guys pretty old now, but it is heavyweight, so you never know what's going to happen. So I'm going to back Goltsov to get another finish here, and I reckon Goltsov gets the KO. And now we move the card to Makasharib Zaynukov versus Takeshi Izumi. Now, Zaynukov is a Russian man, 16-4 in total on his record. He's a pretty good fighter. He's on like a 5-fight winning streak at the minute in some different opponents. Did win his first fight in the PFL by decision, so not too bad there against Derek Saunders. Did just have a grappling match with Arman Tsarukyan, to be fair, but he lost it. Overall, he's pretty good. He's only had one loss by finish. The rest, he's had 3 losses come by decision, but he's won a lot of decisions in his time. Classic Russian man. He's got 9 wins by decision, but he has got 5 wins by KO as well. His opponent, on the other hand, Izumi, the Japanese man, is 6-3 in total. 36 years old though, so he is getting on. Just came from Rizin, where he got a win by decision over Spike Carlisle or something. But around that, he has been finished a few times. He's been KO'd twice in his career, but he's had quite a few wins by decision himself. So he's not the worst fighter in the world, but he's not going to be able to get past Zaynukov in this fight. I just think Zaynukov, he looks pretty good, to be fair. Even though he has went to decision in his last couple of fights, I feel like Zaynukov is going to get the KO here. And now we move the card to McKee Jr. versus Akhmed Magomedov. Now, McKee Jr. is 22-2 in total. A very impressive record, to be fair. 30 years old as well. His 2 losses have come to pretty good fighters, to be fair. Patricio Pitbull, who he actually beat before that by submission, and also Paul Hughes, who went split decision to, and who Paul Hughes, we all know, is a good fighter. Had that really close fight with Usman Nurmagomedov recently. But apart from that, he's got a lot of good wins, to be fair. McKee, he's like a very good fighter. Goes to decision quite a bit, but has got quite a few finishes in Bellator, to be fair. I mean, he's 1-1 in PFL, and then 21-1 in Bellator. So overall, he's a very good fighter. On the other hand, we have Magomedov, who is 11-1 Russian man, 1 year younger, 29 years old. Only lost 1 fight, and that was in Bellator in 2023. He lost a decision to Corrales, but he bounced back with a win this year against Nathan Kelly by rear leg choke, which is an impressive win, to be fair. Has quite a few wins by submission himself, but also does go to decision a lot like McKee does. So I reckon this fight is going to go to decision. Could go either way. Could be another split decision. You never know. But I'm going to back McKee to get this job done, and I reckon he takes the decision. And now we move up to the co-main event. Dakota Ditcheva versus Sumiko Inaba. Now, we have Ditcheva, or Ditcheva, don't know how you say it, but 14-0 English woman. She's very good, obviously. I love this woman. She's so good at fighting. I mean, honestly, one of the only exciting women's fighters we've got in this day and age. She should come to the UFC, to be honest. We need someone else. She's got 7 wins by KO. 7 wins by KO, 12 wins by KO. I don't know why I'm waffling. I don't know why I said 7 there. But she's got 12 wins by KO, 1 win by submission, 1 win by decision. So, I mean, that's just very impressive for women's fighters. You don't get that every day. You just got to watch her to see how good she is. Sumiko Inaba, on the other hand, it's 8-1 in total, so also impressive record. Fair, 34 years old. Is on a 2-fight winning streak. Did get a KO herself in her last fight versus Stiller. That's pretty impressive, but her only loss coming by decision in 2023. Around that, she's pretty good. Got quite a few finishes herself, 4 wins by KO, but she's going to be no match for Ditcheva here. I mean, Dakota is just so good. She's going to get another win here, and I reckon she gets the KO. And now we move up to the main event. Johnny Eblen versus Costello van Steenis. Now, Johnny Eblen, still undefeated, 16-0 American man, 33 years of age. Is pretty good. Obviously, goes to decision quite a lot. In total, he's had 9 wins, come by decision, 4 wins by submission, and then 3 wins by KO. Not been on the greatest run recently. I mean, went to split decision against Impa Kasanganai, which we've now seen he's not the greatest, to be fair. Impa, he's lost his last 2 by KO. And then he went to decision against Fabian Edwards as well, which I don't think looked too great in that fight either. But he's still a pretty good fighter, Eblen. I mean, obviously the best in his division. He's still undefeated. On the other hand, we have Costello van Steenis, the Spanish man, 16-3 in total. I think he also represents Netherlands as well, because it's very Danish, Netherlands name there, Dutch name. He's a pretty good fighter, to be fair. I mean, he's on a 2-fight winning streak at the minute. Both wins come by finish, 1 win by submission, 1 win by head kick KO in round 1, which is pretty impressive. Did lose to Douglas Lima before that though by decision, and also beat Fabian Edwards by split decision in his career. So he's a pretty decent fighter, to be fair, but I feel like this should be just an easy win for Johnny Eblen here, and I reckon Eblen gets the decision. So there are my picks for PFL Africa in Cape Town this weekend. Let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with any of my picks. And that's going to be all for today's video. Make sure if you guys enjoyed it, you go down below and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.